Cleaning Nation, Mike Campion here with the indomitable Suzanne Bandick. Today, we are going to talk about, over 1,100 podcasts. I don't know if we've talked about this before, and it is such an insidious problem that I know holds owners of cleaning companies back, not just from living the life that they want, but from experiencing their business the way that they want, and sometimes even experiencing their life the way that they want. So we're really good at helping people change systems and processes to get a different result, right? People are like, oh, I don't know. I'm broke and I've always been broke. How do I know this will work for me? And it's like, because 1 + 1 = 1 equals 2, right? If you do different things, you have to get different results. But if you do the same thing, you have to get the same results. So they oddly have low confidence. And if I do the things that successful people do, I'll get the results that successful people get. They're risky on that. But the thing that does hold them back, they have no fears around. A lot of times what holds people back is not if they do what we ask them to do, they don't get results. That never happens. It's, if you do everything, if I did everything Elon Musk did the way he did it, I'd have the exact same results he had, right? And if I do things the way I'm doing it now, I will have these results. So we overemphasize, I just need to know what to do and how to do it, which we do. But we completely miss why we don't do those things, right? We just make this assumption, well, obvious, if I was just told how to run a $1 billion business, I'd do that. And many people don't, right? A lot of you guys have heard the podcast and yet you're in the same spot. And the easy out is, I'm dumb, Elon's smarter, and Elon probably is smarter than most of us. So that can be true. But we think it's this just inseparable thing or unchangeable things, an immutable thing about ourselves. And the reality is we found that fear of I'm not good enough, I'm not dumb enough is the actual problem. It's not true, but the fear of it being true is what really traps us up. So it's not so much that I know what to do. I don't know what to, it starts with, I don't know what to do. And then we get the competence of I know what to do, but I don't know how to get there. And a lot of that is a bunch of lies that we're too dumb. Suzanne's got a different option that I don't have, or it's different in his area. Or, he started when he was younger, or he's white or black or tall or short or male or female or old or young, or pick your deal, from this country, not from this country. Therefore, she's got a different outcome. So, that was the most talking I'm going to do, because I've observed this in our people and it makes me so sad. But Suzanne is truly the expert on our team, she and Janelle really, at helping people work through these in a way that takes their power, right? Because I can tell you everything to do, exactly how to do it. And if at the end of the day, you believe you're not good enough, money's evil, you don't deserve success, you'll never have it, you never should have it, and only bad people get where you want to go, I can tactical you to death and you ain't going to move 1 inch forward. So Suzanne, what say you to people that are like, oh my gosh, if I was being honest, I feel that way. I'm there.
Right. Okay. Sorry, Mike, trying to catch up to all of this.
Oh, sorry.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Step 1, confused co-host. Check. Go ahead.
It is so true. And I say this with a lot of our clients. Mike, you teach the systems and the procedures to have success. But if we're still dragging around some past stories of what we can do and what we can't do, it's going to affect our ability to put those systems and processes into place and make the actual changes. And I find over and over again, we all deal at some point with a feeling of, do we deserve success? Are we deserving of success? Because so often in one area or another of our life, and right now we're going to talk about your business, do you ever think or say to yourself, or worse yet, say out loud, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not capable enough, or I feel like an imposter?
That imposter one, I think a lot of people resonate.
Those are all things that derail us. The worst one is probably, the one I hear quite often is, I'm just a cleaner. Okay. And when you feel like you're just a cleaner and you think about growing a business, then you can feel like an imposter, right? You and I can both see if that thought is there, but I'm just a cleaner, Suzanne, Mike. What do you mean? I'm going to talk to people about having a real business, about doing price increases, about doing things differently. I'm going to work with my team, but I'm just a cleaner. So right now, I would like to deal with that just a cleaner mentality and say to everyone, you right now, no matter where you're at in your business,
Really quick, let me say one thing just to keep everyone on board. I think many people have that I'm just a cleaner, but for those of you who don't, let me give you some other blanks so you can still play along.
Perfect.
Sure, I've got cleaners, but I just own a little cleaning company. It's not real. Everyone's only part-time. They're only making $15 an hour. It's not like I've got a real company with people making $100,000. I don't have real employees. Sure, I've got a $500,000 business, but I'm just a dumb white kid with no education that was raised by a single mom. And you can fill in your own blank, right? Like, so I don't want any of you to check out the going, I don't have that. I'm just a cleaner identity. Okay. Fill in your identity because we all have something that's not A, true, or B, serving us.
Perfect point. And again, it rolls around to the I'm not good enough, fill in the blank. What do you feel like you're not good enough in? I'm not smart enough, fill in the blank. Where have you said to yourself, I'm not smart enough, I'm not capable enough, fill in the blank, right? Those are all the things that help us feel like an imposter. So again, no matter where you are, just a cleaner or whatever your thought is that you're not good enough or not capable enough, nobody gets to believe that on my watch. Okay. So let me help get you a little bit out of that belief. And that is, you have found yourself clients, you've started to grow a business, or you have a great business already. You are serving those of you that have cleaners are serving your cleaners because now they can put food on their table. They have employment. They wouldn't want to do what you're doing and go through all the headaches, but they can show up and clean. Thank you for giving them that opportunity. You are helping your clients who don't want to deal with the mess and the stress of whatever they've got going on. And you show up and you make that all go away and you make them feel great. That right there is success. It's capable. If you can start to think about that, you can feel capable and more confident that you really truly deserve to have success because of what you're offering everybody else. And I have 3 steps.
I've got a thought, and then I'm going to give you your 3 steps because those are usually pretty, not just effective, but clear and helpful. So 2 things. 1, I love reading biographies, A, because I'm a nerd, B, because you get to see the person, or autobiography, you get to see the person before they were this thing that we all know. And it's so funny how I think there is a correlation between that imposter syndrome and very successful people. I don't know that there's a lot of successful people that didn't have, because that imposter syndrome is really not the problem. It's your response to that I think is what's the problem. And the successful people thrive on that. Like they need that almost because it drives them to work harder, do something different. So I could say, and again, there's an example of the dad that had the 2 twins, and the dad was alcoholic and one drank and the other didn't. And they both had the same answer when asked, why do you drink or why don't you drink? They both said, well, how else could I be? Look at my dad. So very different, same reality, but very different outcomes. And they both assigned the outcome to the guy. So we can all say, I'm too dumb, which I hate because that's such a non-changeable, like, that's why I mentioned white, black, woman, man. Like, I'm a 50-year-old dude. Like, I can complain that I'm not 20, but that ain't going to change. So I hate that I'm not smart because it's like, okay, I guess I'm just screwed. So you could go, therefore, here, I'll give a quick little silly joke and then I'll turn it over to Suzanne and wrap what I'm saying. The shoe salesman go into Africa and 2 of them, they get off the plane and one calls in and says, I need a ticket home. None of these people have any shoes. Like, it might as well just done and done, wasted trip. The other guy calls home and goes, I need all of them. Send me every shoe you got. None of these people have any shoes. So the data is the exact same. It's just how we choose to look at it. So I'm dumb. I don't think that's true about probably any of you guys, but okay. be that as it may. So I guess I'll just curl up and die and never be successful. Or I guess I'll just have to outwork the people that are smarter than me. Right. Or I'm not good enough. I guess I'll just have to read more books, listen to more podcasts, take more courses, hang out with more successful. I'm just going to have to. So it's, you could be the guy going, send me home. No one's got any shoes. Or you could be the guy going, oh my goodness, there's not a shoe in sight. I can sell 1 billion people. All right. I feel like I've beaten that horse good and dead. Suzanne, hit us with your 3 helpful
it's
thoughts.
perfect, Mike. It's perfect. And that's why I love doing podcasts with you, because you add the most interesting details.
Interesting and so charitable. Thank you.
And perspectives. I actually know that story and it's fabulous. I use that a lot too.
Hey, Clean Nation, Mike Campion here. One of my least favorite things about these podcasts are we found that people love the show and they love the information, but when I talk to you guys in person, stuff doesn't get done. People love the podcast, but they don't take any action. If you'd like to actually implement this and get this done in your world, we have a whole team of people that do exactly that. If you go to growmycleaningcompany.com/talk, you can book a time with either myself personally or one of our teammates to at least help you come up with a plan to actually implement and change your life. So if you want to go from getting these good ideas in your head to getting in your life, just book a free call with myself or my team, growmycleaningcompany.com/talk, and we can go from this one-to-many format to one-to-one and really get you some results. Excited to talk.
So again, this whole feeling, I hope that everybody understands. If you have any kind of these stories underlying in the way you think about your business, you think about your life, any of these stories will derail you. So what's important is to recognize them. And I'm going to give you 3 thoughts and ideas to help make you feel more successful right now. Because I think that we'll all agree there are, and Mike, this is part of what you were saying before, the great successes have always felt less than in some area. It's what they did with that. They said, you know what, I'm going to overcome that. If I feel not smart, I'm going to get knowledge. If I feel not capable, I'm going to, again, get knowledge and practice and do it. And that's how they got where they are. So let's look at step number 1. I'm going to say, if you want to get out of this thought of I'm not deserving of success, the first thing I'd like you to do is look at the areas of your life that you do feel you are successful. Okay? So sometimes we feel like, I'm not a success in business, but you know what? I'm a great father or mother or parent or friend. Okay? So there's several things under number 1. List your past successes. List what you feel you're good at. List where you feel smart in your life, and list where you feel capable in your life.
I love that, because there's no such thing as you're a dumb person or a smart person. And I've met doctors that can't get out of the house. Like, they're so good at surgery, but they're just bumbling goofballs when it comes to other stuff. So I love that, Suzanne. There's kind of just saying I'm dumb or I'm smart is just such a global generalization. That's not the truth. Like, there's certain things I'm very, very good at and very, very smart at, and certain things I'm half an idiot, and certain things I'm full idiot. So I love parsing that out and be like, let's have a nuanced conversation with ourselves about what that means, because nobody's smart about everything and nobody's dumb about everything. Thank you. That was real helpful, Suzanne. Thank you.
Thank you. So point number 2 is realize that no one is perfect. No one is good at everything. Right? That gives us the grace to be real. Do you think somebody really wants to work or be with somebody who's perfect at everything? Not a chance. Right? Let's give ourselves the ability to be real. And under that, I'm going to suggest I am statements. So take the things that you feel a successful person embodies, those characteristics. A successful person might be capable, confident. There are other descriptive phrases.
Energetic, charismatic, powerful, hardworking, fun, good looking. Let's go, big tall. Let's have
Thank you. Okay, so there you go. Think of some I am statements and maybe even say to yourself, I am deserving of success. Why do we do these? We write them down, and I always suggest you repeat them. Why? Because our mind will believe what we keep telling it. If we stay with, I am not deserving of success, I'm not good enough, our mind will find the reasons we are true because we're brilliant and we always want to prove ourselves right. So, how about we start to fill our mind with the good stuff? I am good at. I am successful at. Right? Start with the things that you can feel, yes, I'm good with this, and work your way up. And before you know it, your mind will be proving yourself right. And it will be saying, see, you did do that well. See, you did handle that well, rather than see, you failed again. Ugh, I can't even say that without going, blah.
And for those of you that don't believe Suzanne, Google confirmation bias. You will see that as a real life thing that your brain will serve up. That said, for any subset of you, you're like, dumb, opting out, not going to do this. Oh no, you're going to do it. 20% of our thoughts are just I am belief statements. All Suzanne's saying is, why don't we do that on purpose and cultivate ones that are going to serve us? But we don't opt out of, like, it would be fine to be like, no more I am. Well, I don't know if that would be fine, but if it were possible to say no I am statements, you could opt out of this. But there is no opting out. There's just in being intentional about the I am statements that I'm making. There's a lot of I'm stupid or I'm smart or I'm good or I'm bad. I think Suzanne's just advocating, why don't we identify them since they're so powerful and such big levers and do them on purpose as opposed to letting our mind run wild in a way that if we're not getting the results that we want, in a way that's not been serving us up until now.
And there's one that I didn't have on my list that I'm going to add right now as we've been talking. Surround yourself with people who shore up what you're not good at. Surround yourself with people who are, if you feel like you're not good at math, find yourself a good accountant or a good numbers person, right? Look, study the materials that you're not good at, or if you're like, I just don't want to go there, just find those right people. Elon Musk, any successful CEO, does not know everything. They surround themselves with the right people and they simply ask the questions. What would you do with this? And that, folks, is what a smart person does. They surround themselves with the right people. Pardon?
I'm going to give you a bonus because that's so, not you, Cleaning Nation, because that's so on point, Suzanne. Not just surround yourself with the right people, but just be okay. Like, one of my favorite things in our meetings, or these conversations, Suzanne will say something like, man, you give me 100 years, I'd never come up with that. That is just so good. And I love it. It makes me feel so good to watch Susan. My wife is so good at so many things that I'm terrible at. And I think a lot of us are like tempted by, I don't want to be around that, or I don't want it's going to make me feel bad in comparison, as opposed to just being like, I celebrate the pants off of those things. There's some certain things I'm real good at that Suzanne or my wife or, people in my life aren't as good at. I feel good about those. But there's the vast larger majority of things where other people are better, and it's so good. So because I used to do that and kind of struggle or be frustrated. How come I can't? Why can't I this? And it just felt and feels so good to just go, I'm just going to enjoy their greatness and not worry about any sort of comparison. It's like, that is so cool that Suzanne's at. How lucky am I to get to hang out with this lady on purpose? So I just want to give you, not only surround yourself with people that have those things, but give yourself permission to just enjoy them and not worry about jealousy or any weirdness.
Oh, Mike, that is so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. So my last point, visualize your success as visualize yourself as the success and get comfortable there. Remember, realizing you don't have to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. That's an illusion. You don't have to be good at everything. You simply want to have a look at what you've done in the past, how you can bring that forward, how you can be that person that you desire to be. Start visualizing that and start getting comfortable living there. And when you do get comfortable in living in that, you're actually going to walk into that in your real life. Ta-da.
And again, I'm just going to say kind of the same thing I said a minute ago, because it's equally, if not more important here. Can't opt out. All we do is visualize stuff. So it's not a matter of, that's stupid, Suzanne, I'm not going to visualize. That sounds hokey. Like, oh yes, you will be visualizing. And most of it's like, I don't visualize. But you come in, if I was coaching, you'd be like, what do I do if a client comes in, we give coaching and they've got 1,000 questions on what if he punches me in the nose and then he, kicks an employee and like, you're like, but you don't visualize, right? No, I don't do that. That's insane. So what do you think these questions are? They're just eliciting images and visualizations and feelings and emotions. So again, just like the first part, you will be visualizing the future. Just why not do it on purpose? Why not do it in a way that serves you and your goals as opposed to one that makes you feel yucky?
Perfect. And my closing message is it's not about working harder. It's about thinking differently.
That's a writer downer, guys. I'm going to say that again because what sucks? I think most of us, I know me for a long time, and even sometimes now, I'll work harder. It's so, I think the founder of IBM said, there are things think. And, the reason people who think get paid so well is so rare. So I think most of us would do anything other than thinking differently. Like, and it's funny because when you do it, you're like, well, that actually felt really good. And well, you know what I'm saying? But we will literally be like, I'll just work harder instead of change the way I'm thinking. It's like, I don't know why that's so hard, but you're right. If you want to get paid better, and people say, I want to get paid for my brains, not my back or my hands, but we double down on the work we do with our back, our hands, and we don't do any of the work on our brains. So 100%. And to get to the next level, because we all have the same 24/7, right? So how much harder can you work? Say you got to sleep 5 hours a week, you got 19 hours a day, 7 days a week, assuming you're not going to burn out, what you will. And then that's it. But thinking differently is an infinite loop of better. But once you kind of hit your max of what's physically possible, it's like, now what?
That's it.
Cool. Anything to add, Suzanne? Or you feel like you were able to articulate in your beautiful way what people needed?
I hope so.
I think so as well. Guys, gals, I try to do this every podcast. Don't just move on to the next podcast. I know these are nice little bite-sized 20-minute chunks, and it's easy to be like, oh, that was great. Next. Now I don't want to hear about marketing, which is fine. Enjoy all you want. But boy, oh boy, I would much rather see, or I think I shouldn't say it doesn't matter what I want. I think you'd be so well better served, or I've been better served when I took in less information and did a little more action, which is hard work, right? So maybe before you move on to whatever you're going to do next, just take a minute and be like, which of those did I like? And I love what Suzanne says. I'm going to show you how to do this right now. Like, what if I took 5 minutes and just visualized what I wanted, wrote down some I am statements, took some action right now. I think it'll feel good. I think it'll feel a lot better after you've done, kind of like the gym, right? You're in your warm bed, you're like, I don't want to go to the gym. And then you're there like, and you're leaving, like, I feel great. I'm so glad I went. This could be one of those where you could just go to the, sleep in, i.e. go to the next podcast or whatever you're doing, or take 5-10 minutes and do something different, think differently instead of working harder. All right, Clean Nation, appreciate the heck out of you and your time and attention. If this has been super helpful generally, you're like, but I need specific help. I need someone to actually hold my hand. Feel free to reach out, growmycleaningcompany.com. Tons of good stuff there. Have a great day. We'll talk soon. See you. Hey, Cleaning Nation, if you dug the content you just got, we don't do any ads and I don't sell anything on this podcast, but if you would just subscribe, rate, and review, it would be huge and I'd be so appreciative. Not only is it going to help me, but you'll help other owners of cleaning companies across the world work less, make more, and get profitable. So if you appreciate the value we give, again, subscribe, rate, and review. It would mean the world to me. I'd really appreciate it. And we sure appreciate your time and attention.